Good day everyone. Now I discuss the early termination of provision period. Section 56. No? Provisioner may be recommended for the early termination of their provision period. Provisioners stated in section 56. Provisioner may be allowed early termination of their provision period if they need to leave the country for any the following reason. First, I have a copy. An approved overseas job contract or any other similar documents. So, sa number 1, if a provisioner has a valid job contract in other country, they may be granted early termination of his provision period. Like, let's say for example, a provisioner is on provision, gets a job offer in other country with an approved work contract. They may apply for early termination of provision to take the job. Okay. Second, an approved application for scholarship, observation tour or study grant for a period not less than 6 months. And if a provisioner is awarded a scholarship or study grant for at least 6 months, okay, they may be eligible for early termination of his provision period or his sentence. Let's for example, a provisioner receive a scholarship to study in other country for 1 year. Since his study period is over 6 months, he can apply for early termination. Okay, third, an approved application for immigration. If a provisioner has been granted approval to immigrate or live to another country, they may be considered for early termination. Let's for example, a provisioner while on provision receives approval for permanent residency in other country, they can apply for early termination. Okay. 4. Unapproved to take the bar and or board examination. If a provisioner needs to take professional licensure exams in abroad or in other country, they may qualify for early termination of his provision period or his sentence. Example, if a provisioner is scheduled to take the bar exam in another country, he may be allowed early termination to pursue his legal career or to take the board exam. Provisioner is recommended for the early termination of their provision period if the provisioner is rendering public service. They may also be granted early termination if they are required to serve in public office. Okay. Having been elected to a public office, if a provisioner wins an election, they may be considered for early termination. The same as having been appointed to any public office. A provisioner may be qualified for termination of his provision period to fulfill his duty or role, provided however that the provisioner involved have fully paid their civil liabilities and that the provisioners were not convicted for offense involving moral turpitude. Meaning, before the early termination of their provision period, they must fully pay their civil liabilities such as fines or damages related to their case, and they must not have been convicted of crimes involving moral turpitude such as fraud, bribery, or corruption. That's all. Thank you.